How many have y'all been on a mission trip or a trip across the world? Anyway. Okay, when you were there, did you try to put yourself in the situation that the people were in so you could feel that their emotions and how they felt with it? I had the opportunity to go to Germany and Switzerland for my senior trip, and when I was in Germany, I got to visit the Dachau concentration camp. And visiting Dachau was a eye-opening trip because I got to see the history, the meaning, and what actually happened there that most people don't know about. Dachau was one of the first concentration camps and was the only concentration camp to exist throughout the whole 12 years of the Nazi rule. And it was first for political powers, and at first it was supposed to be for labor, so they could just work. And then later on it was where they actually killed people. And it was also known as the Path for Prisoners, and it was the largest and most well-known concentration camp. And in the slide, the river is going across the bridge. That was the river that they saw, and our tour guide told us that there's a lot of bodies found in there when the Americans came. And the slide right there, the picture, that's how big it was. And if y'all can see it, the two rows, right there, that was all bunks and barracks and stuff. And the meaning of it was just a school of violence for the SS, who was on command. And in its existence, there was over 200,000 people from all over Europe who were in prisons and in subsidiary camps. And at Dachau, there was 41,500 who were murdered. What actually happened, this is on the gate when you first entered. I can't speak German, so in English it meant work shall set you free. And when people first got there, they said that that was kind of an enlightenment, so they actually thought that they were actually going to get out soon. But later on, some survived and some didn't. And then that's where the two rows were, but they had to take some of them out. And when they arrived, prisoners were dragged from the camp on a train, and then when they got out, they were beaten, right when they got there, and they received nasty jokes toward them. This is when they first got there. That's their clothes that they wore, and it said that they were brutally beaten in the words right there. And this is what the Nazis published. They published that they were really nice dressed and they got full treatment, they were okay and stuff. But when the Americans got there, they had barely any clothes on. You could tell that they haven't been eating enough. You could see their bones and stuff while they were there. And then they had their belongings stowed away, but they really just burned it and stuff. And people tried to hide what they had, their most valuable possessions, but they also had to get them taken away. And they were split up by their race. And this was a picture I took. All of these are what I took. And this is a monument, and the upside down arrows, the red ones mean political prisoners, the green ones mean criminals, black antisocial, pink was homosexuals, blue was immigrants, purple was Jehovah's Witness, and then the stars, the yellow and red, was Jewish political leaders, blue and yellow were Jewish immigrants, and the lines over triangles were repeat offenders, and circles were prisoners under special surveillance. And these patches were sewn onto their clothing, so they were, so they could be known, I guess. And usually, either the Jehovah's Witness or Jews and stuff, they got the most they got beaten the most. They got the most torture out of everybody. So whatever class you were in, you got the most beatings or you didn't get the most beatings. And their types of punishment, you could got beaten, and this one was laying on a table. And around the concentration camp, you could hear screams, and the delinquent had to count aloud of how many beatings he had. And when he would yell it, he could barely get it out, and so the tortured person would often misspeak it or slur it. And normally he would then have to begin all over, so he would get more beatings than he was actually accounted for. And then another one was the gas chambers and the burning stoves. And in the building they had right there, where the stoves were, there were 4 of them. And we actually walked into one of the gas chambers, and you get an eerie feeling. So, and at first, like I said, they didn't really, they were only supposed to work. But when Hitler began and got more powerful, he decided that he wanted to kill them. And at first, they didn't know that he was going to kill people. So around the camp, there's fences and there's trees. And so they had a building where they had the gas chambers and the burnt stove. And they had a waiting room, but it was already full. And this was bodies laying outside of the building. Okay, when they were freed, the U.S. Army came in April 29, 1945, and they were freed May 2nd. And what they found when they got through here was a painting, and this is one of the paintings that was really cool to me. It says that the prisoners painted this after he was released, and the painting is off the prisoners outside during the roll call. So it's kind of dark, but all those rows are like lines of people, and the lights are shining down on them. And the painter said this was the eye of God, and he didn't know if God was asleep or not really concerned about them. Going to Dachau was an incredible trip to go on, and to see what the prisoners had to go through was an eye-opening experience. It was definitely an experience that I'll never forget, and I can never imagine how it felt to be worthless and mistreated.